Microphone. Hello. I think it's been so long since I've been live on my own channel, I cannot figure out what is correct and what's not. Um, okay, I think we're good. Good Lord above. Um, I think we're okay. Take that down. I'm live. That would be correct. Now I will do this. Got a permit for those? Permit for what? What are we permitting? Um, let's post that. I didn't realize my phone battery was so low. Um, okay. Okay. Okay, alright. We are good. I think. Oh god, I haven't gone live on my own channel in so long that I'm not sure I'm doing it correctly. I'm so used to going live on Con Culture that I cannot figure out what I'm doing right. Alright. Alright. My eyes. Okay. That seems. Ugh. We are going to style my hair while we're on stream right now, though, because it needs some styling. And I bought a brand new tool because when I was in Scotland, I was using Lucy's hair tool. And like, I have my own waver, but I like hers way better. So I bought one that's just like hers. And I'm so excited to use it. Oh, it came with a little pink heat glove. That's adorable. Did I have the money to do this right now? No, that's not important. But I did want this. Oh my god, it's actually zip tied. Well, I need scissors. I can't just. I thought it was gonna be a twist tie. Hold on. Hopefully, we are good to go. Maybe if I can untwist this cord, we will be on our way. Will be my first time using this new one. So So let's try not to burn myself. Okay. That is good. Our connection is good. Our voice is working. Let's open different channel. What is happening? No, thank you. What am I playing music to? That's hella loud. Audio property. I think that's fine. I don't like this music. I really just want music, but I feel like that's not gonna work. Because everything that claims to be copyright free turns out it's not actually copyright free. I don't hear any music playing. Okay. And that's that. Now we're gonna style my hair while we talk on stream. If I can... God, the heat coming off of this hair tool is actually crazy. I can't tell if my notifications are working. It's super annoying. Put that on the ground so I don't burn myself while I'm not looking. Alright. Okay, now I think we have fixed that setting. So that's going to go there, and that's going to go there, and then I can open my gallery to see if I can get some of my photos to load so I can show you guys some pictures from Scotland. But I'll get that preloaded. Because it is taking its time. I also apparently, you're also getting a weird side view of me. Sorry about that. My bad. I really wish I would have checked the temperature that her hair tool was. Because I'm just gonna go in, and if I fry my hair, I guess that's the way that that's gonna be. I shouldn't aim it so far down so I don't have to hurt my head. Oh, the side view. You were here for it? Watching me talk sideways? Yeah. It was a choice, that's for sure. Now you're gonna watch me curl my hair. It's a trust the process look. Because this isn't the look. This is definitely not the easiest thing to do with a little table mirror. But that's that, I guess. But I'm kind of obsessed with the wavy hair, and it also seems to last fairly long in my hair. So we're gonna keep scrolling so I can load my gallery so we can show off some Scotland pictures. I don't know why I think shaking it helps, but it definitely does. I know for a fact it does. It has to. No other way to style the hair will work. How are you though? How have you been? I haven't been on this channel very much. I should be, and I'll try to get my Expedition 33 playthrough done, but I've been a little behind on getting anything done for myself, unfortunately. You can see like product frying in the air. Where's it steam? Is this too hot? Is my hair steaming? Ow. I'm gonna turn the temperature like way the hell down. Cause this might be way too hot. Cause it feels too hot. I feel like I'm burning myself. Ow, I just did. Ow. Fudge. This feels way too hot. Ow, I should look up the temperature a hair tool's supposed to be. And keep this far away from myself while it cools off. Ow, I really hurt my finger. Now you can have a side view again. Oh, yeah. I was using way too hot of a temperature. I thought so. It felt too hot. It still feels too hot. But I guess, what do I know? I wish my hair held up better with like heatless curls. That would be the life. Yeah, I turned it down like 100 degrees, so that should be good. Actually, I turned it down 120. I think that's a bit ridiculous. I think so. That's my bad. I don't want to be the girl who fries her hair off. Live on camera. That would be a choice, but I'm not gonna do that. Not this time. Baby, baby, you touch me like this. When you hold me like that, and it comes from the window, it's all coming back to me now. You see me like this, like that, and like that. Baby, baby, when you touch me like this, when you hold me like that, it comes from the window, it's all coming back to me now. Oh, I got to change that. Ah. What's the craziest thing you've ever seen? It's the vaguest question I've ever heard. One of the nights I was in Scotland, we got one of the last trains back for the night. And that's when all the rowdies are out on their way home from the bar. And so I got a taste of some real Scotland drunks on the train. They were very funny people. But they found out I was American. And so they like scooted closer on the train so that they could talk to me about things. I'm gonna be honest, he scooted closer to talk to me about things, but then he was too drunk to even talk to me about things. So really, it didn't get anywhere for him. But he definitely wanted to talk to me. But he was too drunk to form a coherent thought or ask me the questions that he thought he wanted to ask me. So I'm not really sure it was a success for him at all. But I was laughing, so I guess that's a win for me. And before you ask, yes, I was in there for the filming of Spider-Man. No, I didn't actually, unfortunately, get to see Tom Holland. But I got to see all the behind-the-scenes stuff and them filming some of the scenes. But where I was, he was at a different set in a different part of the city. And we weren't going to walk over there because we wanted to tour other parts of Glasgow. And so we didn't go see Tom Holland specifically, but we did see some of the filming. So I'll know where some of the scenes were filmed because I got to walk through them and see them, which was really cool. And it was really cool to see the sets and the crew working on different parts of the filming and just seeing them block off the streets and how all that actually works behind the scenes, considering it's supposed to be New York but they film it in Scotland, which is fun. Spoiler. Spider-Man Close to Home, or whatever it's called, is actually filmed nowhere in home. It's actually filmed across the pond. So it's all a lie. But we did get to see some of the actors. They walked by in their costumes. Do you call it a costume when it's like an actor? Your suit, your uniform, your outfit, their clothes? Because they were like wearing US police uniforms and things like that, which is very much not Scotland reinforcements, because it's Scotland, so there wouldn't be a US police in Scotland, so it was very much an actor. And if you're an actor, is it called a uniform? I don't think that's what it's called. It's called a costume. Does it depend on the movie? Because if you're filming like if you're filming like a slice of life type movie that's just in a big city and all you're doing is wearing casual clothes, but the clothes are picked out for you by the clothing department, and you're just thinking, my clothing for work, your costume for work, is it still a costume if it's just clothing? I guess it could be a costume. Because like Spider-Man's outfit is definitely a costume. But is my jeans and a t-shirt also a costume? I mean, honestly, I never thought about it before, and now I don't know. Are they all costumes? Does it matter? Are they just outfits? Like, if it's a fantasy movie and I'm wearing, like, dwarven gear, then yeah, that would be a costume. Or a fitting costume department. But if you're filming, like, The Devil Wears Prada and you're wearing dresses, is that a costume or is that a dress? Hi, Susie! I love you so much. I'm having a debate with myself on if regular clothing in movies is called costumes. Like, if you're wearing jeans and a t-shirt in a movie, it's done by the costume department, but if you're an actor, would you say it's a costume or would you say it's an outfit? But if you're Spider-Man, you'd say, well, I had to wear my costume on set. But if he's just in his jeans and a t-shirt, is that still a costume or is that an outfit? What do actors wear? Do they wear clothes? Do they wear costumes? Do they wear outfits? Listen, I'm trying to keep myself awake because right now it is very late for me. Mentally. I need mental stimulation. And I accidentally had this up to 370 degrees and that was definitely not required, so I turned it down 120 degrees. You'd say outfits, right? So, like, because I was saying I saw a couple actors doing the filming of the Spider-Man movie in Glasgow, but they were wearing, like, one of them was wearing a US police officer uniform, so that would be a costume, but then the other girl was wearing, like, jeans, a shirt, and, like, a baseball hat. It was all American themed, so I knew it was an actor, not just stage tech. But I was like, is that a costume too? Is that a uniform or is that an outfit? The guy was wearing a US police uniform. It's a uniform. My uniform for work. But the other girl had jeans and a t-shirt. Yeah, I had it at cooking temp. Okay, it's the first time I've used this one. Wardrobe department? Yeah. But just say you're getting interviewed. You're like, yeah, so I was wearing my wardrobe. I mean, I guess that's a correct term. I don't know. Listen, man, it's been a long 24 hours, okay? I got back at 6 p.m. Oklahoma time, which is 1 a.m. Scotland time, after having been up at 3 a.m. Scotland time. So that's almost 20 hours of consciousness. Not really, because I switched time zones, but you know what I mean. It felt like 20 hours because of travel. And I had a 9-hour flight. And then when I got to Dallas, I'm pretty sure nobody works at that airport. I was happy when my flight got delayed because instead of going to Chicago O'Hare, I went to Dallas And I'd still technically, I think I'd still pick Dallas Fort Worth over Chicago O'Hare just because then the flight home is shorter. It was literally like 20 minutes up, 5 minutes in the air, and then 20 minutes down. So that was nice. But the airport and like customs was super easy. Got through there in a breeze, no problem, no questions asked, pinch. But other than customs, I'm pretty sure nobody works at that airport. Like, people were just pointing in random directions. We were trying to get you have to pick your bags up after customs and then retake them to the connecting flight section and re-add them to move to your next flight, which I didn't have to do when I went overseas. I didn't even go through customs in London or Scotland on my way over. I was looking around when I picked up my bags in Glasgow and I was like, do I need to go to customs or something? And like nothing was happening. I was like, I guess I just leave. So I didn't do any customs in there, but then I had to do customs when I came to the US, and they're very strict, so like they make everybody get off the plane and everybody go through customs regardless of your final destination, because you're landing in Texas. But like once I got through the manual customs with like my carry-on bags, I went to pick up my bag, and then you roll it to area where you drop it off so that it goes to your next flight, whatever it is, or you just take it and leave. But like the people there were like, just put it over there. No, actually, we're gonna take you guys upstairs. No, you know what? Just leave them here. It's okay. Well, hold on. We're gonna take you upstairs. 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 We're gonna take you. You know what? Leave them here. Just put the bag. Just give me the bag. Give me the bag. And then they just like threw it on a conveyor belt, and I was like, what's happening? Am I ever gonna see that bag again? What's going on? These people don't work here. And I was like, okay, well, that's fine. And then they're like, just go. And we're like, go where? And they just like shoved us off down a hallway. And then we finally get like shoved out to the front of the airport. And then you have to go through security. So on my way to Scotland, I went through security twice. First in Oklahoma, and then second when I got to London Heathrow. When I came back, I had to go through security 3 times. I went through at Glasgow, I went through at London Heathrow, and then I had to go through security again at Texas. But getting in line for security in Texas, they didn't even know where we were, and they were like, get in line for the general security. And so then we're all standing in line, but we're like, you know how they always have those like line queues? They're not using the queues. They're actually just having a line go down some random hallway of the airport, and it was just like leading somewhere, and then it just kind of wrapped around, and so everyone was like, are you in line? Are you in line? Are you in line? Who's in line? And then the guy's like, this is the line. We're like, is it? We're not sure. And then so we all just started following this line anyway down some random hallway that kind of looped back into the security line. And then as I got to the section that was about to loop back, some worker stepped in front of me and was like, no, you come here. Just come here. Just come here. And I was like, what? And he just like let us off through the front of the airport, past all the other like check-ins and bag drop-offs, and just put us in a different security line and was like, just go in here. And I was like, what the fuck? And then when I got through security, which was an absolute pain, because every airport is different. Luckily, we don't have to take our shoes off anymore, and that seems to be universal. But every airport's different on whether you need to take your laptop, your tablets, and your phones out of your bags, or if you put your backpack in the tray, or if you don't put your backpack in the tray, or if your backpack just goes on the conveyor belt but not in the tray, and if you have to spread each item out particularly, or if you can just shove things in one tray and that's fine, or if you have to not take any of your stuff out of the bag and you can just leave it all in the bag and all shove it in one and it'll all still be seen. Doesn't make any sense. But once I got through that, then I'm sitting there trying to figure out where my flight is. So I was like standing there, and there was no board that showed the flights and the gates, and I was like, and it was just like shopping on the inside of the security, and I was like, I don't know. And then I finally like wandered around enough to find the the check-in board, and then my flight kept like, I guess there was like 3 or 4 listed for Oklahoma City, and they kept like cycling, so I couldn't figure out which one was mine before it cycled over, and I had to like memorize my flight number from my phone to look up to find it, and then find that I was at Terminal B, and I'm looking around, I'm like, what terminal am I currently in? And I found out I was in D, and then I'm just sitting there, and it doesn't tell you how to get to all other terminals. It just says, you're in Terminal D, and I was like, that's great. I finally wandered around until I found a line that said all terminals, and I just kept following it, and I was like, guess this is where I'm going, and then it was like, no, take the sky zone, the sky rail, and I was like, what the fuck? And I found the sky rail, and then I had to figure out which sky rail went to which section of which part of the airport, to which drop-off, to where your gate was. Then when I got to the gate, the pilot was there, and so was the flight attendants, but they're all sitting around talking, and then the pilot's like, is there gonna be a gate worker to let us on the plane? Because the plane's here, and the flight attendants are like, I don't see one. Then some gate worker comes over and he's like, I haven't been able to get the door open. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And so then the gate worker had to go get a gate worker that worked a gate that could open the gate to let the flight attendant and the pilot on. And I'm just sitting there like, does anybody work here? Because I'm not sure. I'm not sure anybody works at this airport. No one seems confident in where anything is. No one knows. No one has a key to anything. No one knows where security is. There's no clear signs. I don't know how to get to Terminal B from D. I don't even know what gate to get off at Terminal. I mean, luckily I had plenty of time. It wasn't like a rush job. Where on my way to Scotland, when I landed in Heathrow, they were like, if you're going to these locations, come see us over here. And I was like, hey, it's me. I'm going to one of those locations. And she was like, okay, so you're not going to make the next flight. So here are your options. There's 7 p.m. tonight. Keep in mind, it is 7 a.m. in the morning. And I was like, 12 hours from now? She's like, yep, that's the next available flight to this area. So we're wondering if you'd like to rebook. And I was like, okay, my flight doesn't start boarding for another 45 minutes to an hour. And I was like, why am I not gonna make my flight? They're like, you're just not gonna make it, so what would you like to do? And I was like, well, can I try? And they were like, you can try, but you're not gonna make it. And so then I took off running from my plane, very much not knowing anything about London Heathrow. And if you do know anything about London Heathrow, you know that that was kind of a mistake. Does anybody know anything about London Heathrow Airport? Because I'll tell you what, my guy. It is fucking huge. Like, uphill, a mile, 2 miles both ways type huge. So I take off running from my plane, not knowing where I am or where I'm going, but I'm just following the signs, which are very clearly marked in London Heathrow. I'll keep this in mind. While this airport is ginormous, and I'll explain how big it is in this story, it is very well labeled, very well managed, extremely efficient in the both 2 times I've gone through it. People, like, security, quick. People move through efficiently. Everything is thorough and so easy to get through. Security is so easy, and I'll explain, because they do everything great and it's awesome. However, the airport itself is a crime with how goddamn fucking big it is. So I take off running. And so keep in mind, we're traveling from Oklahoma to Scotland. The temperature changes are great. So I'm getting chilly. So and I had an overnight flight, so I had like sweatpants on, shorts underneath my sweatpants. I had a long sleeve on, and then I had my big fluffy hoodie on. And I'm running with 2 bags because I was cold on the plane. I'll tell you what, I wasn't cold when I got there. I'm running like a fat kid trying to carry all this stuff. I had to run up some escalators, down some escalators, up some escalators, cross a hallway, up a long hallway, down a hallway, up a path. Finally find the sign. I'm like running and following the signs very clearly. I'm like, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna make it to the plane. I don't know why they're saying I wouldn't. I'm getting hot, getting kind of tired. I'm like, okay, I'm running kind of far. It's kind of crazy. I'm running kind of far. And then I get to a point, I was like, take the bus to the terminal that you need to be at. And I was like, oh, fuck. I see why they said I might not make the plane. I need to take a bus. I need to take a bus right now. As I was running down the escalator, the bus pulls up. And I was like, getting on! And I was like, the timing couldn't have been better. And so I hop on this bus. Luckily, it said like 8 minutes from one terminal to the next. But I'm sitting down there like, and at this point, I'm like, I'm starting to get sweaty in my triple layers, but I don't have time to shed clothes. And then I get off the bus, and the guy couldn't open the door. He kept like swiping to like let the people in the next terminal. And at this point, again, I didn't know anything about London Heathrow. And so I was like, all right, I made it to the terminal. Everything's good to go. And I run in and they're like, great, follow this pathway, which is like a half a mile that way. And then follow this pathway, which is a half a mile that way. And then follow this pathway, which is a quarter of a mile this way. And I was like, okay, it's a lot of random pathways. We're really digging in there. And they're like, okay, welcome. Now you have to go through security. And I was like, oh, fuck. And I'm like running and I'm like, I just got here and I need to get here. And they're like, oh, you better hurry. And I'm like, I'm trying. I'm really trying. And luckily everybody was so nice and they kept like letting me by. And I was like, I'm sorry, excuse me, I'm sorry, excuse me, sorry, excuse me. Sprinting through this fucking airport. I think I ran like 2 miles. Ran through security, which was so efficient because they don't make you take anything out of your bag. You don't have to take your shoes off. Everything goes in the tray. They move it for you. Like, you're not just shoving it, like, it's so, oh my god, their security is so efficient. And then I ran to my plane right as it was boarding, and I got on. So, good for me. However, I'll tell you what, I feel bad for the people that were sitting next to me on the plane because I was sweating like a whore in church. I was soaked in sweat, like, damp. My clothes were damp. Imagine if you weren't a collegiate sprinter. Imagine if I was wheezing and sweating. Oh wait, I was. I was on my deathbed boarding that plane. Like the people were like, are you gonna be okay, ma'am? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. They told me I wouldn't make my flight. And I wanted to make my flight. Also, keep in mind, I have no service on my phone because I turned cellular service off. So I was like, I will have to buy Wi-Fi at this airport if they don't have free Wi-Fi, which I think they do. But it was only like 1 or 2 hours of free Wi-Fi, then you have to buy it. But I was like, I don't know what the Wi-Fi situation is right now, but I was like, I don't have service on my phone. So if I don't make this flight, I have to somehow contact my friends and say, hey, you're probably waiting at the airport. I won't be there for another 14 hours. And I just wasn't gonna have that. So I made that flight. And as I'm sitting on the plane, wheezing, the announcements, they're like, all right, sorry, we're getting ready for takeoff. Everything seems to be good. We're just waiting on a few more bags. In my head, I was like, ain't no way. I mean, I was like, I guarantee I'm gonna have to tell my friend that I'm gonna have to come back to the airport to get my bag, because it'll probably be on the later flight, because there's no way that it's gonna be there. But when I got off the plane, I was like, I'll check, I won't just run away. And the first bag that came off the tram was my bag, and I was like, oh, the whole plane got delayed. The whole plane got delayed because it was waiting on my bag. That's my bad. It's my bad, fam. That one's on me. And then I yelled at my friend in the first like 5 minutes of meeting them because he got in the taxi and then got in the driver's side. And I was like, what are you? Oh my God, this is not America. He's like, what are you freaking out about? I was like, I thought you were just going to drive the taxi. He was like, no, they drive on the other side. Anyway, got super sick trying to deal with the fact that they drive on the other side of the road and they all drive stick shifts, which I already get motion sick. And then imagine me trying to survive after sprinting on... I did have a full stomach, because they did feed me on the overnight flight twice. I had food, but sprinting, sweating, probably extremely dehydrated, and then getting in a stick shift car that drives on the opposite side of the road, still in my sweatshirt. It was a great time for me. But I made it to Scotland. No problem, other than that problem. And then we chatted for a couple hours until I eventually passed out. For like 4 or 5 hours. And then we ordered food. And then fell back asleep. It was great. And then I went to Glasgow. And, on my way to Glasgow, she's like, hey, you want to go see Tom Holland? And I was like, don't they film that in New York? What do you mean, Tom Holland? They're filming... She's like, no, they film in Glasgow because it looks like New York. And I kid you not. When you get off that train, the train station doesn't. But when you step out into the city, I was walking around going, you fucking kidding me? I flew across the world to end up back in New York City. Because they really do look like New York. Same products, same stores, same layout, much cleaner, much cheaper, much nicer. And I was like, God damn. But anyway, if you ever go to London Heathrow, make sure you have a bit more time for your layover. On my way home, I didn't sprint through the airport because I didn't have to. And I wasn't gonna do that again. Even still, walking at a leisurely pace and just taking my time because I had time, it was so far. It is such a far trip from where you get off your plane to where you get your next plane, especially if you're international. If you're going like, from London to London somewhere else, it's probably like 2 gates over and not a different terminal. However, if you're going to a different terminal, it is so far. It's so far. And I wish I was exaggerating, but it was like a 2-mile walk. And you're yakking your bags. And it's butt crack of dawn. It's just exhausting. It's really awful. Hi! So, warning. It is a very nice airport. Very efficient. Everybody's so kind. It runs very smoothly, but it's absolutely ginormous. And it was unpleasant to deal with the sheer size of it. Like a 2-hour layover is like a good time for you to just get to your flight. Oh God. Absolutely wild time. I also think it's interesting. I don't know what the rules are for serving food on those like overseas long time flights, like if it's on like a certain time zone or time clock or whatever. But my first flight overseas was overnight because I didn't care. So when we get on, there's some time, and then they serve you like a full dinner. Like I had a huge tray and it had like 7 to 8 things on it to eat, and like a pasta dish and water and a dessert and salad and a bread and a cookie and crackers and cheese. There was a lot of food. Like, I didn't eat most of it, and I had to, like, snacked on it later. And then when we woke up in the morning, they fed us like a yogurt with granola and a bar and a little something else and another water. And I was like, this is a lot of food. On my flight back, I was asleep at first, so I don't know what they served early. Or if they did. But halfway through my flight, they come through and they just give you like a cup that big of vanilla ice cream. That's it. And then, right, like 40 minutes before we land, they give everybody basically a Hot Pocket. And I was like, what's the etiquette? Or are there rules based on the time zone of like, or the time when you're flying? Like, my overnight flight was way nicer. The airplane was way nicer. And I don't know if that's just because of the time it was, but whatever. But like, the food thing cracked me up. I was like, I wasn't expecting like a full meal again or anything, though I kind of wanted it because I was really hungry after a 9-hour flight. But I was like, I got a yeet of ice cream and a Hot Pocket in 9 hours. On the other flight, I got like 2 3-star meals, and I was like, what? What determines how shit their food is, or how much they feed you? Is it just because it was an overnight flight? They don't care about you during the daytime? What? Is that a thing? They just don't feed you during the day? Because we flew through what would be kind of like at least lunch, and then landed about, I don't know, like 1 p.m. Texas time, but would be like, I don't know, 7 p.m. Scotland time, London time. No, they like kind of wake you up for dinner. Like, nobody skipped out on dinner. I saw every single person take a meal. And they even came through with like special meals for people who had requested certain things, or like allergies or whatever. So like, those were already pre-requested, and they came through, fed those, and then they came through, and every single person on that plane got a whole tray. But then the way back, we got a Hot Pocket. And I was like, what in the world determines the value of what people get to eat? Because I want to know. I'm like, either way, I still paid a shit ton of money for this flight. Yeah, it got me to point A to point B, but it was 9 hours. Feed me! And then I have to get to another flight. I don't have time to stop to get food. And I didn't get to eat. I didn't get to eat till I got back. And I'm like, that's crazy. What are the rules? And then I flew on the tiniest aircraft for my flight from Dallas to Oklahoma, because it's such a short flight. But it was just such a small plane. I wasn't used to. I was like, it's so little. The plane is so small. You know, so if you have a daytime flight, Ken, when you go to Ireland, do let me know if they feed you. I'm like, what? I want to know about the feeding schedule on planes. I'm very curious. These things have to be known. Do you get to eat a Highland coo? You have to eat a Highland coo while you're there. They don't eat their coos. I'm guessing you missed the meal while you slept. I don't think I did, though. I ain't catching me wind sprinting. No, there wasn't any direct flights to Glasgow, unfortunately, because it's a smaller section. But yeah, I mean, if I was flying directly to Edinburgh, it possibly would have been different. But it's so wild. Well, even still, even if I did miss the meal, I still got a second full meal on my other flight, but they only feed you one meal on the other one. That was longer. It was a longer flight home because I went to Dallas instead of Chicago. So it was an extra 2 hours on the plane. So I just want to know. Like I said, I wasn't starving or anything because I had my own food and I slept a bit and I was fine because I had breakfast and stuff. But I'm just curious. A girl wants to know. Okay. Hell yeah. Now I have my own waiver. I do like this waiver a bit more than my old one. I like it. Which is good, because I just bought it today, so... And I won't cook myself on 370 degrees again. Keep it at 250. I don't need it that hot. I'm just going to unplug that. I'm gonna go have a Waterford blah. What is a Waterford blah? Is that an Irish term I'm not understanding? I can touch up a few waves, but that's fine for right now. I don't know. Interesting. Flights are weird. Kind of bread. So you're not gonna eat a Highland coo? Soft roll made only in Waterford. Waterford. Are you gonna alight from the train? Oh, that was so weird to me. We took a lot of trains. Cause public transportation over there is fantastic, so we didn't need to drive anywhere. But when you get on the train, they're like, please mind your step when alighting from the train. And I was like, alighting from the train? What does alighting from the train even mean? Like, I was so confused. I was like, don't you mean watch your step when exiting the train? And I was like, wow, it's so peaceful. It's so peaceful. And they're like, mind your step when alighting from the train. And I was like, oh, it's so relaxing, it's so calming, but also, what does the word alighting mean? Because I didn't think that had anything to do with getting off a train. Turns out it does, but... What's the weirdest food I ate? I didn't really eat any weird food, necessarily. I just went to very, like... good restaurants. They don't have a lot of... So... The thing is I'm making the train lighter. I'm insecure. Scotland is kind of a port where a lot of other cultures are there, so it doesn't have a ton of its own culture of food, with the exception of like they're big on fish and chips, haggis, and there's like one other specific type of meal. I wasn't gonna eat fish and chips because I don't like thin. I don't know how to explain this, but like I don't like thin like white fish, like any cod, sea bass, or anything like any of those thin white fish. I don't like those. The only type of fish I eat is salmon. I love crab and shellfish and things like that, but the only fish I eat is salmon. I don't like any form of thin light fish. It just tastes like paper to me. I don't like it. It tastes like paper that tastes like fish, and it doesn't taste good. So I wasn't gonna eat fish and chips. Haggis I wasn't going to eat because I don't like sausage in general. But haggis is innards. Innards, and I don't want that, so. And then the other thing was also something really gross. So we just went to a bunch of really good restaurants where they bring, so Scotland is known for bringing in a lot of cultures, and it's like a lot of mixed cultures, because like I said, Glasgow is very much New York City, but clean and nice, and their food is all fantastic. I had fantastic food, but nothing was weird. I did go to what is like a staple of the UK, which is called oh god, I just deleted the app too. Wetherspoons. So Wetherspoons is a classic UK thing. It's like a cult thing that apparently everyone in the UK jokes about. They're like, when I get old, I can't wait to retire and be an old man and spend all day in Wetherspoons. It's a restaurant that takes over like old historic buildings, things that can't be knocked down, like old banks and stuff, so they're always like nice inside, but the food is cheap and the beer is super cheap, and it's run by like you order off an app, so you don't even have a waiter, so you just come in and you order off your app, and then they just bring you the food. The food is not good. But she's like, you have to go. You have to. It's a UK thing. You have to go to Wetherspoons at one point. So that was like the last restaurant we did the day before I left. And it was the worst of all of the stuff that I went to. It was not good at all. Didn't like it. It was a choice, but it was an experience. Because it's a choice in there. Because they have like gambling machines in there and just tons of old men just in there just chatting and ordering cheap beer and drinking and just talking all day. Did anyone have an accent though so thick Lucy had to translate so many times? Luckily everybody's so nice too that people would be like talking to me and they're like, and I was like, listen, I'm gonna be so real, I don't know what you're saying, and they would like laugh and then they would try to slow it down and clarify it. But sometimes they had no idea how to talk to an American, so it didn't go whatever. It's a fun cultural experience, especially because it was bad food. Yeah, no, it was gross. It was not good. Not good food. Every other restaurant I went to was absolutely phenomenal. Service was fun. It was also very an interesting thing because the last time I was overseas, I was... Okay, I guess there's people mowing my lawn right now. The last time I was overseas, I was 16, and so that was 13 years ago. And the last time I was overseas was to France. So when I was getting off the airport in London, my brain was like, girl, clock in, time to clock in, you gotta start paying attention for the language barrier. And then I was like, it's not a language barrier, they're just gonna talk funny, because I was like prepared to have to start translating everything that I read and be like, okay, so that says to the left, to the... I was like, nope, it's still gonna be in English, so that was weird for me to go somewhere that was still English, because I'm like so used to going somewhere that wasn't English that I was like, oh, it's going to be English, don't freak out. But there were a lot of language barriers in like phrases they would say, and I'd go, what? And they'd go, and I'm like, I don't know what that is. Motherfucking mowing the lawn right now. 5 on a Friday. Whatever. Right by my goddamn window, too. Yeah, there were several times people would talk to me and I'd be like, huh? Because I would be at a restaurant or I'd just be chatting, and like if I started talking to Lucy, the amount of times I'd see people just go. Because it's interesting, again, because I was like, it's gonna be a language barrier. It's not, because I can understand everybody and everything's still in English, but I don't think of being the odd one out. So I'm just talking, but everyone in Scotland, like, they do have a lot of Americans there because Glasgow's a port, near a port, and so there's a lot of cruise ships that come in. So there are a lot of Americans there and things like that. But, like, every time I'd speak, the Scottish would whip their head and look at me and be like, you're American. And I'm like, yes, yeah, I am. I'm like, American. I'm like, okay. And then people would just come over and start talking to me about things. Because they love talking to Americans. The one guy on the train that was super drunk scooted closer when he found out I was American because he wanted to ask me some stuff. Yeah, people, when I went and spoke to that one person who had the Dalmatian the one day I posted on my story, I was like, oh, I love your dog. And he was like, oh, you're here on holiday. And I was like, yeah, I am. What gave it away? And he was like, I was like, how quickly did you figure it out? And he was like, the accent. And I was like, the accent, was it really that quickly? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, the second I opened my mouth, he's like, oh yeah. And when I was leaving, he's like, I got to talk to a lovely American with a beautiful accent. And I was like, it's so weird to be like, why? They're really fucking mowing right outside my fucking window right now. They had all day. But for like thick Scottish accented men at the park to be like, I got to speak to a beautiful American with a lovely accent. I'm like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean an accent? I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy. And I was like, was it? Because I want to know. Because when we hear English, UK, Australian, like, how quickly do we clock it when we hear it? Versus, like, is it just the second I say hello that you're like, American, she's American, we hear it in her voice? And then I went on that walk by myself and I went and talked to Lucy about it, and she's like, yeah, you do have a nice American accent versus some of the other American accents. I was like, oh, are you talking about, like, thick Southern? And she's like, yeah, we don't really think that one's nice. Especially because, like, if you're a thick Scottish accent trying to talk to a thick Southern accent, I promise you now, that's gonna be a language barrier that neither of you are gonna understand shit from each other. You can't hear it, but I can't hear myself over the mower, and that's driving me nuts. It pissed me off. I can't, like, keep my thought. That's why I keep hesitating on my phrasing, because I keep hearing the mower and it's breaking my concentration. I'm already on the brink of insanity with how sleepy I am. And now a mower is taking my last brain cell of focus. But we went to one restaurant and we were talking about the accents, and she was like, yeah, the Southern accent, is it? And so I started talking to her in a deep, thick Southern accent for the whole meal, and she was cracking up. And then the person who wasn't our waitress, he came over to get our bill, and I was like holding my American money out, and like we were just like fake joking, and he's like, you gotta pay, and I was like, oh no, okay, sorry. I was like, no, none of this is, I don't sound like, this isn't my money. Okay, I was just gonna pay with my phone. It was also nice that most of the time, if you're curious about going overseas, you don't need to take cash out, because most places don't actually accept cash, and the whole, I can't fucking focus. Now they're weed whacking outside my window. I cannot focus right now. Oh my god. Taking everything I have. to be conscious right now. And then weed whacking outside my window is fucking me up. At the bowling event, is that what you're asking about? I have the information in my phone that I haven't opened yet. Saturday, 12 to 2. Let me make sure. Yeah, it is the one right by my house. Do I have to pay to go? Because it says $20 to each superhero player. Is that me paying? Are we volunteering? What's happening here? Register today includes you special. We have to pay? We're not just volunteering? Like, we're not just there for pictures and fun times? Because I genuinely do not have money right now after Scotland. I would go there and dress up for fun, but I cannot afford shit right now. I have to cancel several things already. Because I don't have money. So I'm assuming no. We are volunteering. I'm asking. I have a tendency to do this. I ask too many questions and then you don't have time to answer, so I don't know which question you're answering. That's just the public flyer. Okay. Okay. I was like, I know it's only $25 and it is for a great cause, but I cannot afford it right now. Okay. Yeah, I can do that. And Bubba's. My brain. I need to stop asking so many questions so quickly and hoping that people will keep up with my brain. Yeah, because it's right by my house, so I don't mind doing that one. But for the thick Jersey accent would be an interesting one. I don't think I can do a thick Jersey accent very well right now. Maybe if I had more brain cells in my body, but I don't. What time did I get back from doing my nails? I'm gonna go turn the crock pot off. Hold on. I just realized that that's been on for too long. How many brain cells do you need? I can spare like 15. I need enough to be able to focus with them outside my window. Haha, muffins. I had to learn a lot of new terminology when I was in Scotland. If I asked you what a hamper was, what's a hamper? Dirty laundry basket, right? Yeah. See? Classic. No, apparently that's not what that is. So we were getting my friend had to go to a wedding, and when she came back, we're like, let's get her little presents for her when she returns, because we love her. And so my super Scottish friend, you guys know him in the community, is Slothy Jace. He's like, let's get a hamper. And I was like, what? Excuse me? And I was like, why would I give her a basket full of laundry when she comes back? Turns out a hamper is a gift basket with like little trinkets and things. That's not, to me, I was like, in my head, I was like, that's offensive. Why would I give her a laundry basket when she came back? That sounds so stupid. that a hamper is a gift basket. Took me too long to figure that out. Alighting was a word that I had to learn, because again, I was like, please alight from the train. I was like, what am I doing from the train? What does alighting from a train mean? I don't like gifting chores. I don't. Surprisingly, I don't. There were some wild terms I had to learn. Let's see. I think this, I don't want to say this one wrong. Grafted. To get grafted. My friend was like, yeah, we got grafted. And I was like, what? And she was saying like, yeah, he's been grafting for you. And I was like, I don't know what grafting means. At all. Well, thank you for the tip. Thank you so much for adding to the clock. I appreciate it very much. Thank you, thank you. Did you just gift me a chore? What chore do I have to do? Because if it's my laundry, I'm already starting. It just needs to go in the dryer. Chill. If you're curious, though, grafting actually means brain cells. They're not doing anything yet until the freaking mowers are gone. Grafting means working hard to get someone's romantic attention or making a significant effort to win them over. And I wasn't gonna figure that one out with context clues. I was like, yeah, he was grafting. And I was like, I don't know what grafting is at all. God, I wish I wrote down the words, but there were several times that her and Japes would just be talking and I would just go, stop. What? And they would be like, this. And I'm like, that's not a thing. Oh, we were crossing the road and I was like, so much for using the blinker. And she was like, the what? I was like, the blinker? That's so normal, right? When you see a car, is that what you call it? The blinker? Is that just a me thing? Like the blinker? I only know of skin grafts. Yeah, I was like, grafting? Like, they were hitting on you. Yeah, well, I didn't know what that meant. Way over my dumbass American head. I was like, oh, yeah, blinker, right? Blinker. I was like, they didn't use the blinker. And she was like, a blinker? That's cute. And I was like, yeah, turn signal, blinker. She's like, we just call it the indicator. And I was like, that's so much more work. She was like, so much for indicating. And I was like, that's so much more work. I'm like, the indicating. Use your indicator. Fucking indicator. And I was like, that's so much effort to say fucking indicators. They also don't understand, yeah, they didn't understand gas for your car. If you said the person was hitting on you, well, we think that's true. Either way, signal, turn signal, blinker. Short to the point. They use the full indicator word. Or indicating. Yeah, it's petrol. She kept saying something, and I kept wanting to be like, no, you put that in a car, or whatever, and... they do use petrol. Let's see. Gas isn't a liquid. That's true. It is good. It is short for gasolino. We had an argument about a couple words. I'll have to ask Lucy what some of them were. But yeah, no, there was definitely, even though it wasn't a language barrier, there were language barriers. And sometimes if somebody was talking to me and I was looking at them and like focusing, I could understand everything they were saying. But if somebody was behind me and they were just talking, I was like, I can't understand a word that's coming out of that person's mouth. Especially when two Scots talk to each other, the speed increases. Because they cut words like in half and short because they use a lot of slang like we do in America. And they just sped up the conversation. And I was like, none of those are English words in any way, shape, and form. But they all loved talking to me because they loved my accent, which is just the weirdest thing to be like, I'm the one with the accent now, instead of you weirdos all sound weird. And I was like, when I go back to America and I walk around and I'm able to understand everybody around me, it's gonna feel so strange to not be like, Scottish! Your Scottish accents around here! Live from the train, you Scots! Get a beer at the pub with me mates. Wanker. Wanker is, I think, a little bit wanker. You say it American, it sounds horrible. Wanker is, like, I think, a little more English than Scottish, or a little bit more Irish. I didn't hear it that much in Scotland. I did hear "Oi, you see you next Tuesday" quite a bit. I also heard "Oi, you TWAT" quite a bit. I hope one person didn't know you were American and just thought you were a strange German girl. Well, I would randomly talk in different accents that weren't American, and it would still confuse people. I'm all for Scottish clucky character. I'm Scottish. From Edinburgh, Scotland. Took the tram. The bus. To the house. The house keys. Keys to the house. I was getting really good at mimicking Lucy while we were there. But then if I zoned out and I tried to mimic her and I wasn't paying attention, it became an Indian accent instead of Scottish, so really it was just all over the place. Spanish does it too, because the Spanish my sister in high school wasn't the same in her Spanish. We were wrong. Yeah, that's true, because French, when you learn it in high school, is Parisian French, but it's not all French, and French Canadian is different than Parisian French. Yeah. It's all over the place. It really, really depends on which section of Scotland you're in, because if you're just like 20 feet down at Paisley Gilmore Street versus Glasgow versus Bishopton versus Crossmaloof. That's a city. Crossmaloof. Crossmyloof. That was my favorite train station. Crossmaloof. Love that one. Crossmaloof. I just would like, to be honest, while I was just walking around, I would just stop and just talk to the most random Scottish people that I found, and it was so much fun. While we were doing our photo shoot, when we were finished, we sat down in this little garden, and there was a guy there with like a cross-country backpack, and I was like, oh, are you cross-country backpacking? And he was like, actually, I just got back. I got to head to the mosque, or I think it was a mosque or something. So it was a Buddhist temple, that he's a community member of, that they have this whole like community for people with mental health struggles or people going through things that people go to and like recenter themselves and find themselves and do backpacking things. And he's like, he just got back from his journey, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna be traveling back to the temple. I'm planning on leaving the community. I want to go say bye to everybody, but I just got back from my journey, and it was really nice. Like, I just love just saying hi to people, and then all of a sudden you get like the craziest stories from people. Like, everyone is on such a different walk of life. Everyone's at such a different point. And it's such a different story to tell. Like, me and Lucy were in the garden just pretending to be elves and taking a photo shoot, where this guy just got back from a cross-country 7-month backpacking trip of self-care and health stuff, and he's going to his Buddhist temple to like say goodbye to the community and then go off to the next step in life. And I'm like, the stages in life that people can be at is so wild. How dare you? I was saving that for marriage. Marriage. Cross my loof. What are you doing to my loof? I'm crossing it. Crossing it, mate. Mate. I love that. I know, right? Hey, you resubscribe to the cookie. Yeah. Fuck, I'm so tired. It's 5 p.m. I'm cooking, my guys. In my defense, I did get up at like 5 a.m. today. Not necessarily intentionally, but I did go to bed. How's the jet lag hitting you? It's not horrible, because when I said I got back at 6-ish yesterday, I got home to my house at about 6:30, 6:40. Fed Abby, had to stay awake long enough to give her her shot, which I did, and then pretty much immediately fell asleep, so it was probably like 7:10. I was asleep, and then I woke up at about 5 this morning. Hung out with Casey watching TV. At about 6:30, he went for a run, and I took Abby for we did a hefty speed walk, because I was like, I can't run right now. I'm so sore. So, I definitely see why people in Scotland eat so much, but also are so skinny, because no matter what, it is uphill both ways, and it is steep uphill both ways. So, like, you look at your maps, and it's like, it's actually a 5-minute walk from the train station to, Highland Park, and you're like, 5 minutes, that's not bad, but I promise you, boy, that 5 minutes is straight vertical uphill, and you are gonna be huffing by the time you get that 5 minutes, and it is the most exhausting 5 minutes of your life. So, they don't have heat, except when I come over there, it was the hottest it's been in forever, and Lucy's like, you brought the sunshine, and he is sweaty. Well, also, you work out, but also keep in mind the altitude is a bit different in those sections. So it is exhausting, and my legs and body are very tired from the amount of walking I did. Like, the one day, I did do like 23,000 steps, which again, is something that I can do. However, it's 23,000 steps uphill both ways. So it's a lot of up and down. Mostly up. You think once you go up, you've got to go down at some point, but somehow you still keep going up, and you never actually end up back down, but then you are down without going down. Anyway, it's very tiring. So I went for a speed walk with Abby. We did jog about like 4 house lengths, just because I want her to jog a little bit. So we did that at like 6:30, then came back. I sat down and unpacked all my suitcases and put all my clothes in the wash. And Casey fed Abby. And then I did some stuff on my computer for 2 hours. Went and got my nails done. Went shopping. Food. Then came back. Casey wanted to go shopping, so then we went to Sam's Club. So I am tired right now. I'm not like dying tired that I need to sleep. I don't know how social I'll be able to be forever. I might need to put on like a show or something. You brought a piece of Oklahoma. It was still hot here, yes, but it was hotter there than it'd been. Like, it'd been raining for weeks before I got there, and then it didn't rain a single day I was there. So when our parents say I walked 5 miles uphill both ways, they lived in Scotland. They for sure lived in Scotland. And it's all cobblestone, especially in Edinburgh. Edinburgh. I never say I can't say Edinburgh, correct? Because I want to say Edinburgh, which is a university in Pennsylvania that was one that I competed against for many years. And then I want to say Edinburgh because I'm American and there's a G in it. However, that's not how it's said, and you have to like Edinburgh. Edinburgh. I can't say it correctly, so that's why I'm gonna say it 15,000 times every time I say it. But it's all cobblestone because it's all old city and it's gorgeous, but it's like stairs and like uneven cobblestone. So not only are you hiking uphill, but you also have to pay attention to where you're stepping because it's not like a flat, smooth sidewalk. You're like rickety, 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 rickety. So your calf muscles are like flexing in all directions and your knees are buckling and you're like, wow, this sucks. I slept like a baby every night though. If it was 115C, you'd be dead though. True. I had to get nerfed, I was so OP. I don't think that's the case. But I did get to spend a lot of time with Lucy's dog, which is a greyhound. I've never gotten to spend so much time with a greyhound. I always used to see them at the Ren Fair in PA, and we loved them. My family's a big fan of greyhound. I thought it was Edinburgh. Edinburgh? Yeah, it's Edinburgh. In Edinburgh. I can't say it right though, because I want to say Edinburgh. Edinburgh University. That's where my championships were, is Edinburgh University. But it is Edinburgh. Edinburgh. I'm never gonna say it correctly. Isn't the Scottish Highlands technically the ancient ripped off piece of Appalachian mountain chain you were pretty much just exploring familiar turf? Yeah, I mean pretty much, yeah. Edinburgh College. Edinburgh College. Wait, is it Edinburgh? Edinburgh University. Edinburgh, Scotland. Can't. It's just a word that I can't pronounce. That's that. It's gonna be the way that is. So, are you going tomorrow? Well, I was talking to Carrie. It looks like I will be going tomorrow. PA had a lot of boroughs. They're all pronounced borough. If I go off of what Seven Deadly Sins call it, because I'm not telling them they're wrong, it's Edinburgh. You know what? It's a city. I started calling it Eddie because I couldn't figure it out, and Lucy and Jace were both like, what? And I was like, Eddie. Edin. And we went there 3 times, so. Edinburgh. Has to be true. There used to be a castle. There is a castle. There's a giant castle in the very center of Eddie. And I went to a lot of graveyards there. I think it's funny. I was like, I'm worried you're not doing that. I was like, I love seeing old stuff. I love history and architecture, so take me to the cathedrals, take me to the graveyards, take me to all this stuff. And we went to a graveyard, and Jace took me to the grave/memorial of Bobby. Do you guys know who Bobby Greyfriar is? Ken gets it. Captain Marvel. Okay, I'll be soups. I'll be souping. And I'll probably just use my natural hair tomorrow. No wig. Since I just styled it. Do you know who Bobby Greyfriar is? Do you know the story of Bobby Greyfriar? You know him as Bob? Damn. We were close like that. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. Are you sure you want to be close with Bobby? Are you sure you want to be close with Bobby? I'm just kidding. So Bobby Greyfriar is a dog. So yes, you do want to be close with Bobby. There is a memorial there for Bobby Greyfriar, who stood at the grave of his owner and guarded it for 15 years after his owner passed away. And there's a memorial there for him for loyalty. It was, let's see, I'll bring the gallery up because I spent all this time making sure it was downloaded on my computer. Add source. Window capture. Window. So it's about. God damn. Greyfriar's Bobby. Let his loyalty. God damn. This is really hard. And devotion be a lesson to us all. And so he stayed at the grave for 15 years after his owner had passed. And so everybody drops sticks off as an ode to Bobby when they visit him. Can I switch windows? Like, look at all the sticks. They leave change in sticks for the puppy. And I think that's so cute. And they have that, and then they have a second statue that's in the just in the street nearby, and everybody goes by and pets and rubs Bobby's nose for good luck. And so, like, I love seeing things like this, with the exception of, I'm sure you guys have probably seen the videos of, like, people go and rub statues for good luck. There's, like, the statues of the women where they, and the men where they, I'm like, I hate seeing that, but when it's something like, it's just interesting to also see where humans just graduate towards, even if it is inappropriate and not cool. Those I'm less a fan of, but like seeing things like this, it's just, humanity's interesting in that manner of being able to see these types of things. But they go and everybody goes up, takes a picture, and like rubs Bobby's nose for loyalty, love, and stuff, and I just think it's so cute. And it sits right outside of his nope. I clicked on the wrong thing. Can you stop? It's not the picture I'm clicking on. That's not the picture I'm clicking on. If I click on a different one, will it just open it? Nope. It's not even the picture. There we go. Right outside of Greyfriar Bobby's restaurant. So the other memorial goes down that way into the graveyard, and then right here in the middle of the street section is where the statue is that everybody rubs his nose. I think that's so neat. Also, in that same graveyard, are the origins of where somebody I don't like or care about got names for the movie and stories of Harry Potter. And it was cool to see some of the graves where the names actually originated from. So clearly here we have Thomas Riddle. And then this one is another significant... Why are you the way you are? Wait, I wanted to do, can I actually have it go? Add source. I guess this is fine, whatever. That has shiny golden balls. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is like people have to touch the inappropriate things sometimes. Here's another famous name from that famous story that also originated in that graveyard. This was cool to see. I very much enjoyed that. While I don't support the stuff, there is a lot of that stuff in Scotland, because a lot of it was actually filmed there and done there. So there is a lot of things here, and I did find this really cool bookshop that isn't licensed by Harry Potter, but is licensed because the creators and makers of the Marauders map and Hogwarts letter, like designer authors, also are, you know, they have credits and things, so they have their own bookstore there, and so like all of this is Harry Potter themed, but it's not J.K. Rowling trademarked, so I was happy to be there and see that, and see the people that created the Marauders map. And I actually did buy a book from this bookstore for my sister. Not Harry Potter related at all. But it was cool. So this has got a lot of Harry Potter things in it. But again, it's not her. Not the person we don't care about. Let's see. Is this going to capture? So they had the little fireplace because they designed these. And so these were all like pouring out of the fireplace. It was very cool. There is a lot of that stuff in Scotland, though. Oh, speaking of statues that get little wear and tears. Here's one that also gets a little bit of love. This is a statue for... I forget what the picture actually says. Memory of Polish men and women who fought for our freedom. So it's a Polish memorial in the Park of Edinburgh. What else are you gonna do? Dodge barrier? I know, right? So that was another. Before I just keep misclicking on things, let me do this so I can see a bit clearer. I saw some really haunted sections of graveyards. I also was able to see this statue. There's another dog memorial of another loyal dog. And again, people make sure that they put sticks out for the memorial. And I think these are the types of things where I'm like, I think humanity is so interesting and so cute in these sections. Humanity's also a piece of shit, and there's also some really awful things that happen, and but like also kinda cute. Humanity can be very cute. Like, you still boop the nose, pat the head, and leave a stick for a good memory of a good baby. And that's really cool. And that's where humanity is kind of adorable. Let's see. I know you were all waiting for this. And I knew if I didn't see this when I was in Scotland, everyone was gonna lose their freaking marbles. But I did pet a coo. I see you. I did pet a coo. I pet a man, I pet a woman, and I pet a baby coo. But I knew people were gonna get on my case and make my trip a nightmare if I didn't go see a goddamn coo. So I found a coo. And dog. I just was like, I want to see one. I do. I absolutely do. I have no problems. Like, I love animals. But I was like, if I don't, though, and I come back, everyone's gonna be like, did you see a Highland cow? I'm gonna be like, I'm going to kill myself. Not literally, don't take that seriously, YouTube, but, like, I will lose my head if people don't stop asking about that G-dang coos. They're slaying. Oh, for sure. I have a lot of pictures of coos. I also have a lot of pictures of armor. I saw a lot of sets of armor and I got really excited about that. Because I really like armor, so... A girl was taking selfies with armor sets. There's a lot of armor in my camera roll. Just really excited about armor. I went to the cathedral in Glasgow. It's a very pretty cathedral. Very old, very pretty. They're actually restoring the top part of it. Let's see, do I have a picture of it? That's... what am I looking at here? That's the cathedral. I forgot what the cathedral looked like. But they are doing some restoration of it, which is very nice that they're working on that. Very pretty. Lots of stained glass. Then there's this like hidden section down here that's like this all white stunning room compared to like the rest of the cathedral. So like the whole cathedral looks like this. It's all very stone, worn, wood, kind of a little gothic style. But then there's the crypt, the underside of the cathedral, which again is just all stone, very gothic, very worn, very pretty. And then there's just this one section room that is just pure white stone stained glass. Like, so different than the rest of the cathedral. Oh, like, God, the architecture, man. Why can't we bring back this kind of work? Right? It's just so pretty. So pretty. And then I climbed to the top of the hill in Glasgow on the top of the graveyard at the necropolis, because I wanted to go to the necropolis. Yo, you see the word necropolis on a map, you know where you're going. And then I went to a botanic garden with Jace. You know your ass. You know, you bet your ass I immediately started taking pictures of the birds. I said, oh, birds I haven't seen before! Must take picture of birds! Look at them, look how long those legs are. Look at those things. Some long bird legs. New birds. It was very fun for me. You also guys want to see a picture that definitely looks photoshopped? But I promise you it's not. These are apples. These are the reddest apples I've ever seen in my life. They looked that photoshopped in person. Like, they look fake. Like, they're the type you'd buy at, like, the dollar store to put in, like, your little bowl on your kitchen table for, like, the holidays or decorations, right? Those are real these are real apples. They're so fakely colored. Like, it can't. Can it show us the actual image? No, that's really it. Like, Jace took a picture of me taking a picture of it. My editing skills aren't that good. My editing skills aren't that good. I don't even know what kind. They weren't labeled. Unfortunately, because I was trying to find the picture. I'm not that good at editing that I can edit like that. They taste as red as they look. God, no. Also, I took a picture of this because I thought this was fascinating. Boo, the people want to know. I'm the people. I want to know. So in the Botanic Gardens, you know, they leave information about flowers and things. What I thought was so interesting was, this caught my eye because I saw the little icon of a character. I was like, looks like a video game character. Like, in the corner of my head, I was like, gotta read about this. So there's this, like, flower here. And there's this guy. And it's cooling the heat of battle among Britain's native species of meadowsweet. Blah, blah, blah. Has particularly rich folklore. It was renowned as the only thing that could ease the battle fury of the legendary hero Cuchulainn, given the plant's Gaelic name Lus Cuchulainn. Accordingly, Highlanders used it to treat headaches and fevers. In Scots, meadowsweet is called Blackened Girse for its use as black dye paint. But I was like, could you imagine being the most battle fury legendary warrior and you were like, I need my little flower plant? I was like, how fascinating that the only thing that could ease the battle fury of this renowned warrior was this little itty bitty tiny plant. I was like, I'm so curious that this man needed his fuchsia plant to calm down. Like, look, this guy needs a little flower. I was like, a little flower. I was like, that's such an interesting story. Like, this is the only thing. Only thing Here's your widow flower, that's what I was thinking in my head. I was like, here's your widow flower, big strong man. Here's your widow flower. Like, yes, it definitely is probably due to some medicinal properties within the flower that, like, ease the headaches or, like, calm the anger. Like, for sure. Aromatic effects, whatever. There's absolutely an actual scientific reason. But seeing this and reading it's just like, he's your big flower, you big strong man, you need more widow flowers. Emotional issues with special interest. Familiar, he's autistic. Yeah. I just thought that was so interesting. I was like, hell yeah, big guy. Love your whole plant. Poppies are pretty flowers, supposedly comforting. Well, yeah. They are comforting. There were poppies in this garden as well. I took a couple pictures of those. What's this a picture of? Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother at the National Memorial, created as a generosity of both Scotland and further a field to honor much love the Scottish lady. Let's see. I went to a couple museums with Lucy. Took pictures of armor, costuming, dress work, costuming, dress work, armor. Might be a theme. It is a problem. I can't help it. A girl really likes armor. What picture is this on? No, that wasn't my artistic picture. Yeah, here's one of the most artistic pictures I took of the whole trip. Freddy. Look at him. He's just a guy. Look at that snout. He doesn't even look real. He's not even a real dog. Dog is 70% snoot. That's so true. He looks like a little alien. It was so weird to look at him. Because, like, he's just so different looking than Abby. That it was jarring. How much that I'm like, this is just not... This can't even be classified as a dog. In my personal opinion. I don't think that it can be legally be classified as a dog. It's just too weird. He also loved me, like, a lot, to the point where he'd started sleeping on all my stuff because it smelled like me. So he took over all my things. That's my hoodie and my hippo. And I was like, Lucy, I don't know if I'm gonna be allowed to take my hippo back because he likes it so much. He is such a cutie patootie. He's got such a different demeanor than Abby. Where Abby is doesn't sit still, and like very thick fur and heavy breathing and panting and, you know, short nose and like loud breathing, where he's silent. Like you forget he's in the room. So quiet. He doesn't move. You can cuddle him for hours and he won't move a muscle. Hair is so short that like it doesn't irritate my skin or have allergies or anything. His breath stinks, though. That was the only thing, is he's fine, but when he opens his mouth, his breath stinks. But they're so calm. They just don't do much. They really don't do much, so they're just kind of there. Lucy has a picture of me on her phone because I fell asleep spooning Freddy the night before I left, and we were sleeping like that for like 3 hours. No, none of them brush their teeth. No, but his breath is like significantly worse than Abby's. Abby's burps and farts are way worse. Freddy's breath is just absolutely horrid. It's just so stinky. Look at this thing. So smelly. It's like a mile down. Snoot. Have to travel the length of the snoot. Oh, was this another term, or am I making this one up? Ganked. So Lucy kept saying that we got ganked at the botanical gardens when we randomly were walking through when a photographer was setting up for a shoot, and he was like, "Could you two? I want to take pictures of you two while I'm waiting for my model to come back, because you can't set up lighting without, you know, looking at a model, because if you take pictures of the leaves, you're not going to see the model." And we're like, "Sure." And he ended up taking a couple pictures of us and then sending to us, but we got ganked by a photographer. And it was so cute, though, because then we have, like, casual pictures of us, not just in our, fantasy garb. So it was really nice to have, like, fun pictures of us. Look at her. She's such a cutie patootie. She's such a little girl. She's a widow. She's so Scottish. Freddy, more like smelly. Ganked? Yeah, no, that's apparently a term, is getting ganked. We got ganked by this photographer, so he could make sure his lighting was good for his photo shoot. And then he sent them to Lucy, and I thought that was really sweet. For those who are curious, there is Dollar Tree in the UK. Except it's called Poundland. It's real. There is Poundland. The hours are gone. Oh yeah, I can tell now. My brain cells are working again. There is Poundland. Usually flanking assassin reference to me. Yeah, no, getting ganked is getting pulled, robbed, or stolen. Oh, they didn't call it Pound Town, but now it's a land of getting pounded. And that's fun, too. They have an absolutely abhorrent amount of seagulls over there. I was wondering what the most common bird that I was gonna see would be. I saw a lot of magpies, and I was very happy about that, because I don't see those over here. But they have an abhorrent amount of seagulls. It's mostly seagulls. But the weird thing is I saw mostly juvenile seagulls. Very few adult seagulls did I see at all. But there were babies everywhere. And I was like, where are the parents? Oops, all seagulls. Yeah, it's seagulls and pigeons mostly. And I was like, I'm really excited to see birds. And I saw seagulls and pigeons. So, heartbreaking for me. Not that I don't absolutely love pigeons. I think they're funny as heck. And they're so unique because they're all so different. But it is all just juvenile seagulls, which is interesting. Don't know what you just clipped. Let's see, what else is interesting that I should show? What in the world is that a picture of? Hi, Papa! You missed me showing off all my pictures for Scotland. You gonna eat that? Am I gonna eat a butt? I like your frog. Thank you. I love Belly Vault. Hi, Christopher. What is that a picture of? Oh, me trying to figure out what I was looking at. Beist. There's so many pictures of armor in here. I can also just... Is it gonna just not show what I'm looking at? I love that it's not showing. He's on my Minecraft server. Is there not? That's fine, I guess. Let's see. Yeah, I got a lot of bird pictures. Birds. I think those are birds. If they're not birds, I don't know what they're pictures of. Lays. Oh, because I was taking a picture of the walkers. There's just lays. No, it's because I was taking a look at the walkers. I was like, that's the same logo! Walkers is actually True Lays. They just renamed it in Scotland. Oh, here's Glasgow University, which is like apparently one of the highest. Look how gorgeous it is, though. Stunning. And it's right outside the museum over there that we went to. Kelvin Grove Gallery Museum, which was super pretty. Is that where Lucy's going? No. She's going to one inside Glasgow City. This is slightly outside the city. I mean, it's in Glasgow, but it's not like in right by the Glasgow Central train station. It's just like a little bit further. You have to take a subway to get over there. Oh my gosh, so there were these works of art in the museum that were so funny. So the art itself is fine, right? But when you read the description section next to it is when it gets so funny. So you're like, it can't be that weird. But the art description is... Oh, not that one. Oh my god, everything loaded out of order. I want this one. Oh my god, what in the world? Why is my gallery out of order? Those are not the ones I want. Whatever. Ignore the actual image, because for some reason my photos are out of order. But, so, like, in a gallery, there's a picture, and then next to it is a little description tablet that tells you, like, what the artist was thinking when they painted it, and then the name of the painting. Except there was just a bunch of paintings in a row with descriptions like, the crystal ball at the top, a surgeon treating a peasant's foot, mid-17th. The crystal ball at the top of this painting symbolizes people's vanity. This implies the surgeon is incompetent and the patient is a gullible fool. We're like, what is happening? The next painting, we're like, this can't be true. This is only one painting, right? The doctor's visit. The pale woman in this painting is suffering from love sickness, a medical condition thought to be cured by reading the Old Testament, which is lying open on her lap. An elaborately dressed doctor takes her pulse. He points to his head, indicating that her affliction is all in her mind. Doctors were sources of humor at the time. Quack doctors were thought to fool their patients and false theatrical diagnoses. What in the world is happening in this section? No, it is so ChatGPT coded. Like, there were just photos in a row that just were like this. And we just were cracking up reading these. Where did all the other ones go? Yeah, here's the woman suffering love sickness. Yeah, does that description match this art? Like, it just looks like a fine-ish image, but apparently this is a quack doctor. She's trying to cure love sickness with the Old Testament. I'm like, what? It's such a ChatGPT, please describe this image type shit. Yes. Goddamn English majors. Is this one of the ones? An obviously bogus quack doctor attends to an unfortunate patient in a ramshackle house. He seems to be casting a spell rather than providing medicine. Quack doctor. Possibly 1645. Like, what? Like, the actual, what are you talking about? Is this more of them? No, that's the same one. So it's finally loading in order now. That's so weird. Here is a dress that was just gorgeous. Me in my museum and look at the tailoring, the stitching. Like, come on. Incredible. God, old fashioned is just so freaking beautiful. Like, absolutely stunning. Stunning. Like, the fabric used is just crazy cool. Like, how did you even get all of this in, like, I love looking at garments. Love it. This cape thing was so cool to look at. So it's like a cloak, and they like repurpose old-fashioned trends, but like the way that this thing is stitched, and like there's clearly a rear, like a certain type of bustle that they put in the back to give them like that bump, but they stitched like an old-fashioned out of style outfit into this new cloak. And like, look at the stitching. Like, it's such a seamless finish into where the bump is without any like wrinkling or creasing of the fabric. And then it also has a space where it flawlessly transitions into a separation so that the fabric has room to move and it's not stiff. And it has like that gapping. And I'm like, golly. the skill to make fashion and fabric in the senses and like having no fabric buckling at all. And then here's the front of that piece. Like it's just like recycling like an old trend passed and they turned it into like, I don't know, maybe like a curtain or something, and they turned it into this like cloak thing. But like it's just so fascinating. So fascinating. Oh no, the dog's here. Hi, Abigail. What's up? Why are you hitting me? Didn't you just come in? Weren't you just outside? No, I don't. You don't need anything. I don't wonder what their Etsy name shop was. Had to be something good. Abby's hitting you? Yeah, she does that. It's pronounced Edinburgh. 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 Okay, my computer just went black. Alright. I don't know what just happened. Edinburgh. Take me back to my gallery. Do you want to play Pokemon Minecraft with me? Perhaps. I can't say that I will today due to jet lag and exhaustion. I'm doing my best right now. But I'm not all there. Casey does not like Minecraft. This is my favorite picture. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Not a thought behind those eyes. Not, you spelled it wrong, Ken. It's Koo. They call him Koo. It's a Highland Koo. That's a Kevin. Like a pigeon? Yeah, C-O. Highland Koo. What's a group of coos? Coos. Highland coos. Highland coos. Butters, I don't think it does. I think it was eating grass. So, you're judgy for what reason? Here's some of the pictures. Oh my god, nope, they're not on my phone. Are they on my phone? On my gallery? Everything I don't know why, sometimes when my gallery loads to my computer, it doesn't load in order. So I'm trying to find things. that I can't find at all. Shut up, watch. Oh, was it telling me to sign up? Look at this cool dog I saw. Casey helped me identify the breed today. But he was just an old guy, and I'd never seen this type of breed before. And it was really cool. He's just a really old guy. You can see because he's been loved so much because all his color came off. So that's what happens when they get loved a lot. They lose their color. It was very sweet. The amount of Scottish people I interrupted to be like, "Hi, can I say hi to your dog?" That breed. It was a Gordon something. God, what was it? Gordon Setter. That's what Casey helped me identify. Well, it's normally brown right there, but it lost all its color. Lucy and Jace got drunk and took a bunch of selfies on my phone when I went to the bathroom. So, when they see this, just know that I have all their selfies. So they took my phone and they got drunk. No, they were drinking. Well, one had an innocent gun, one had a Guinness. And then we were randomly handed shots, or they were randomly handed shots of something. Little cuties. Blood of Christ? Maybe. We happened to be in... So my trip also took place during... Right now is the Fringe Festival, which is basically, for what I've explained to you guys before, is like... I've gone to Music Fest in Bethlehem. It's like that, but kind of on steroids, and it takes place all over the city of Edinburgh. So it's like Music Fest all over and shows all over the place, so it is crazy packed. While I say Edinburgh is very, 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 very beautiful, I didn't love it there because it was so busy. And that's not just because of the Fringe Festival. Like Jason was saying, like, it's just a tourist trap. Like, it's just so packed. You can barely walk down the streets half the time. It's crazy overcrowded and stuff. And I'm like, it's pretty. The city's gorgeous, but it's just so crammed. Like, you can't even enjoy it. Like, everything's like long lines to get anywhere. There's just so many people all over the place. It's gorgeous. It's so pretty there, and I want to love it more, but it's just so overcrowded that it's just made it so much less enjoyable to be there because I couldn't enjoy anything because I was constantly in a huge crowd at all times. I know I'm from Philly, but I wanted to enjoy this gorgeous city. Like, the only time I got to enjoy it was when we were running from the train station to our photo shoot because it was 7 in the morning and people weren't awake yet. When we were leaving and any other time we were in Edinburgh, it was so crowded. It was awful. Hi, Bree! How are you? They do VOD reviews. But also, look how cute this picture of Lucy and I is from our shoot. It's the cutest. I can't wait for everybody to write fanfics about us. Look how cute. It's so cute. It's just so cool. Look how cool she looks. Yeah, I was everyone's like, you were kissing her in that picture. I was like, actually, what was really happening in that picture was I was laughing hysterically because she said the stupidest shit in the middle of the shoot and I could not contain myself and I just like fell forward, and so she took a picture and it looks gorgeous. But everyone's like, oh, were you guys kissing in this picture? I was like, no, actually I was pissing my pants laughing because she was being so silly. I was like, Lucy, this was not the time. We were supposed to be taking like a certain part of the story picture. Another big fuck off sword. Oh, you mean this shit? She's got 2 swords. Guantanamo Bay. Yo, what up? She's actually funny. Oh, she's very funny. I love her very much. I adore her so much. Guantanamo Bay. Did you spell it any different than the... Oh, you put it capital. Capital J. I could play soon. Or Loki long. Not really. Here's the Wii pop-up. In case you guys were curious. It's right there. The Wii pop-up. Why is Kevin turning on? I thought he goes off at 4 a.m. Hi, Abby. Yeah, I know. Kevin just started. It's very scary. This was when I first got there. And he attacked me. And he's also eating me. Just kidding. The angle of this looks like he is, but he's actually quite far away from me. And he just so happened to have his tongue out at the exact moment that I took that picture, and it looks very strange. What? What's wrong with Kevin? You know what? Kevin is a pain. And those are the eyes of an apex predator. Yeah, Freddy, a predator for sure. He's so vicious. You want? No, but I didn't take a picture of this. Lucy has a picture of it on her phone. So her next door neighbor texts her and was like, Lucy, look outside your window right now. And Lucy runs out of the window and she drags me, or runs out of the bathroom, drags me over to the window. She's like, look out the window with me right now. And there is a squirrel sitting on the concrete wall. A squirrel eating a dead mouse. I didn't even know squirrels did.
It's a recent thing.
Squirrels eat mice?
It's a recent thing.
What?
They've been becoming carnivorous.
Ew!
It's not like unheard of, but the amount that they're doing it nowadays is pretty alarming. And it's because they're running out of like their own resources and stuff.
Ew! But we were watching a squirrel hold a mouse carcass and eat it. And I was like, that's gross. Good to know squirrels are becoming carnivorous. I never thought they were that cute. They start at the nuts though. Ha 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 ha. Freaking nerd. Are they as big as American squirrels? They're the same size as American squirrels. Nothing different there. Oh, I took a picture of this memorial grave. It was a grave in the cathedral, just because the writing on it was fantastic. But he died fighting something of a barbarous foe, and I was like, yo, the author of this particular memorial was incredible. I should have taken a picture of the whole thing. The barbarous foe, and I was like, first off, I would love to be described as that. Because that's incredible. You faked the laugh, but I know you enjoyed it. No. Oh, I think it was this memorial. I don't know if I'll be able to read it. Hi, Abigail. Taken prisoner by the Chinese escort under the protection of law of truce. He died a victim to the cruelty of a barbarous foe. And I was like, first off, now that's not ChatGPT. Somebody wrote that in his home. Distinguished. Distinguished by generous and devoted love in his profession, bravery and strict observance of duty in life, courage and constant. I was like, God, they really wrote this so efficiently. Why are we yelling at Casey Murphy? What are we yelling at him for? He didn't do anything. Speak ill of him again, Butters. I swear to God, I will murk your butt. Can he join Discord? That's not up to me. I don't control him. He can do whatever he wants. Justin would see this and try to get a plot next to it saying, here lies the barbarous. Casey? Casey? Casey, okay.
I was what?
You didn't
I'm
answer.
peeking around the corner.
I can't see you.
What's up?
Butters is asking my permission if you can join Discord.
I'm doing stuff right now, but...
Okay, so he said you smell bad and he doesn't like you and to, run a lap.
Yeah, pretty much.
Butter said, oh. He said, I'm always free. Yeah, well, he lied. Also, if you guys are curious, for those who read nutrition labels, I do it because I have autism and I like to look at things. Look how different that is than the US label for Coca-Cola. It's so interesting. They don't even have a serving size on there. Like, it says, like, reference intake of average adult, but it's not really, like, a serving size. I thought it was interesting to read. I like looking at, like, mundane things that are different between worlds. Like, I don't even know what energy is. I think that's calories. Because, yeah, it's kcal. And then I think technically the first column is one serving versus the whole can, maybe, but like it's a can, so would you actually not have one can of... Yeah, because this is one serving size, which is one bottle. So that wouldn't be split into... Like, I don't understand what the two different levels are, because we only have listed as one. But energy is calories. Fat is listed first for us and them. But then we switch to carbs. Or they switch to carbs. And we switch to sodium. They don't have sodium listed at all. We have total sugars. They don't list that at all. And then we always list protein. They list protein. They also have different ingredients in their Coke. Not much. There's like one... It's literally like one ingredient different, but it is different. where we use high fructose corn syrup and they just use sugar. Did I try Iron Brew? Yeah, I did. I did try an Iron Brew. And I did not like it. Not one bit. It's not good. I didn't like it. Oh, do you like this? Do you like this speed limit sign? It took me too long to understand that this was a speed limit sign. I just didn't understand what I was looking at. , 20's plenty. 20's plenty. That's the speed limit. It's 20's plenty. What do you mean by 20's plenty? 20's plenty? That's a speed limit. I mean, it makes sense when you say it out loud and you're like driving, you're like, 20's plenty. Like, yeah, that's true. We'll know more about the duct tape on it. How fast are they going? Plenty fast. I'm not saying you can go over 20. No, 20's plenty. That's plenty enough. Oh, I mean, I know we're all surprised, but there is another picture of a bird in my phone. In my defense, this thing was like this big. And I was like, what is that? And Jace was like, it's just a pigeon. And I was like, that's the biggest pigeon I've ever seen, if that's a pigeon. It is in fact a pigeon. However, it's the wood pigeon. It is the largest breed of pigeon that there is. So I was right. Because I was like, that is unnaturally big if you think that's a pigeon. Because a real pigeon would be about there. Be twice the size of that. Fork found in kitchen. Bird picture found in Clocky's phone. Just naming the obvious. Yeah. But it is a wood pigeon and it is the largest bird. It does look like it coos. It does have a coo. A bit of a coo. Oh, another thing. When you order drinks at restaurants, especially soft drinks or pretty much anything, they don't, especially soda, but it doesn't come out of like a hose or a tap like in America. You will almost always be given a bottle and then you pour the drink yourself. Even beers, sometimes they give you a glass and a can and you pour your own beer. You don't, like pubs will have some taps, but for the most part, every restaurant you go to, you're going to be given a cup and a drink. And you pour your drink in the cup. And I thought that was an interesting thing to get used to, is like you're always going to be given a cup and a drink, a cup and a drink, a cup and a drink. Their bathrooms also are always downstairs. And you don't tip. No, I think you do. I don't know. I don't remember what we were doing. Scandinavia. Bathrooms are always downstairs. So like when you go to a restaurant and you go to the bathroom, you like go out the back door and then you have to like go down a hallway and like go downstairs and then down a hallway and then you go through a door into the bathroom and then there's always a second door into the bathroom. It's really hard to get into the bathrooms. You're kind of like far away. There's bathrooms everywhere and they're like easy to use, but like they're always downstairs. And you have to walk to them, and then there's 2 doors to get into the bathroom, and they're usually back to back, so one opens one way, and then they open into each other, and then you can't get through. Did you get ice without asking for it? Yes. But if you order water, you have to say, can I get tap water? If you do not say tap water, they will bring you bottled water or something, and that you have to charge for. But you have to ask for tap water so you can get tap water for the table. So, I learned that the first restaurant. She was like, can I get tap water? And I was like, tap water? but you have to ask for tap water. If you say water, they'll give you something you have to pay for. I want to play Expedition 33 really badly, but I know as soon as I like settle in to try to play a game, I'm gonna get really tired. And then I'm gonna be sad that I'm not paying enough attention to it. So I promise we're getting back to it, but I just want to be focused and not dying. Yep, they'll bring you mineral water or bottled water, or they won't probably bring you sparkling water unless you ask for it, but yeah, I want to be focused for it. I'm just too fudging tired. I gotta get out of the cursing that I adapted while I was over there, because cursing is very, very much just part of the language over there. And I wasn't doing it when I started, but when I left there, it just like, you hear it so much that it gets stuck in your head. I was doing well and cursing less, but they curse a lot. It's not really even cursing, it's just part of the language. Huh. I'm getting tired. So, I will probably watch some television. Have some buffalo chicken dip. I made it to a very decent point. I found out I was a minute behind in chat. Or what? I may stream more. Am I a joke now? So I wasn't streaming as much because I was super focused on cosplay stuff that I had going on. I'm still doing cosplay full-time and still building things. However, with my new job with Con Culture Podcast, I will be traveling a bit more and probably working on bigger builds less, which I'm fine with. I was just doing it for certain things. So I will have more time to stream and less time working ridiculously hard, and I will be better at scheduling my stuff out because I have to get stuff done for Con Culture and videos to record and streaming on there. So I'll be planning to at least get through my stuff here. Fucking hell. But now I won't be cramming for as many cons and making big projects that take my soul away, like Magic, Punk Child Magic from Marvel Rivals. So we did good things this year, but with working with Con Culture Podcast, I now shall be streaming a bit more. If not on this channel, definitely on Con Culture's channel. If you're not following. Yep, see, starting to crash out. If you're not following, I want to finish this game really badly. I really, really, really love this game. In all truth, I very much do. But it does take a lot out of me. Just because it does take thinking and paying attention, because the combat's not necessarily, like, easy clickable. I do have to pay attention. Especially with timing things, you know, for like parrying and stuff, so I can't just like zone out and be like, yeah, so anyway, chat, talking things. I'm like, time it, time the attack, time that. If you're not following Con Culture Podcast YouTube channel, please go ahead and do so. There are some great streams on there by me and some other people, and then great videos and short form content there as well. I will be back for them guaranteed on Tuesday with more Blueprints. I've been desperately trying to beat that game. Haven't done that yet. I'm only on day 10 of Blueprints though. We're a couple hours in, but we're on day 10. So if you want to help me solve the puzzle that is Blueprints, that'll be on Tuesday. I will be trying to create a schedule of like once a week for this channel. If I don't just start going randomly when I'm able to definitely get through Expedition 33 and then trying to get some more recording videos done But I think I'm going to pick out a romance anime and binge watch that. Or read. One or the other. I don't know. I'm gonna have some buffalo chicken dip. I want to play games and I want to hang out more, but I am fatigued. That's for sure. And I don't want to push myself and get myself sick. So, because apparently I have volunteer work tomorrow. Which I probably should set an alarm for. So that I remember that I have volunteer work tomorrow. Supergirl. 12 to 2, so it's only 2 hours of work, so it's not that bad. Enjoy dip and romance! Yeah, boy! I love you guys so much. Thank you for hanging out. Thanks for chatting with me. I'm so glad to be back, kind of. I'm glad to be back because I love my house and I love Casey and I love my cats and I love being here. I'm not glad to be back because I really did like Scotland and I really love Lucy and I had a great time. And it was a very nice break from responsibilities in life and just kind of got my mentals all in order and helped me zone back in on life. But I am happy to be back. I love you guys very much. I'm very tired and fighting consciousness to the best of my ability. So I love you guys. I'll see you here soon. Keep up with me in the Discord. Mostly on Instagram is where I'm mostly active. In my personal Discord, and I'm more active in the Con Culture Discord. If you have any questions, let me know. I love you all. Abby wants to say goodbye. Or she just wants to sit down in front of me and spin my chair around. Alright. What are we doing here, Pumpkin? She knows it's about time for munchies. Are you ready, Abby? Okay, I love you guys. See you later. But for now, I'm clocking out. Bye-bye.